Good morning, everybody. Hello. Oh, thanks for waving back. So, my name is Spencer. I'll be today's MC. We're not starting yet, but I do want to take a few minutes to make sure that everybody is seated right where they're supposed to. Why? Because later, when we celebrate the students, in the awarding ceremony, we want to make sure that everything is streamlined, that you guys can get to the stage smoothly, okay? So, by a show of hands, how many of you are in grade 1 or parents of grade 1 students? Grade 1. Perfect. Now, if you're in grade 1, please sit over here in this area. Grade 1 last year, sorry. Grade 1 last year. So now you're entering grade 2. Okay, last year in grade 1. Okay, this will be your spot. So it goes 1, 2. Oh, there's one grade 1 over here. Grade 1 is over here. So it goes 1, 2, 6. Okay? And then what grade are you? 3. Last year, grade 3. Perfect. Yes. So 3, 4, and then 5. Okay? If you're in grade 1 last year, this is all last year. If you were in grade 1 last year, over here, it goes 1, 2, grade 6 in the back there, grade 3 here, 4 in the back of this block, and then grade 5, and then this block. What grade are you guys? Teachers, you're right. I'm so silly. Well, yeah, teachers and educators, principals, you can all be over here. Perfect. That'll be my quick announcement. I will do another reminder when we start in about 3 minutes. But thanks for being here, you guys.
Bagi kebanyakan anak SD, matematika itu seperti monster. Dan demi mengalahkan monster itu, mereka pun berlatih. Anak-anak berlatih di sekolah, guru turut memberikan PR, orang tua kadang memberikan latihan tambahan di rumah. Bahkan banyak anak masih ada les juga. Namun semua kegiatan ini membuat anak jenuh dan letih. Hingga akhirnya membuat si monster jadi makin seram. Lalu, bagaimana cara menjinakkan monster ini dan jadi suka belajar matematika? Jawabannya adalah KooBits. KooBits hadir sesuai perkembangan zaman dan membantu anak menguasai matematika seturut kemampuan mereka layaknya bermain game. Anak hanya perlu login dan memilih tantangan yang mereka mau kerjakan. Mereka juga dapat belajar dari video tutorial terlebih dahulu. Kemudian, berdasarkan penguasaan materi, mereka akan lanjut ke topik yang lebih tinggi. KooBits melampaui semua metode pembelajaran konvensional dengan menyajikan ratusan ribu soal matematika dari berbagai kurikulum, baik nasional maupun internasional, yang setara dengan berbagai buku yang berat dan mahal. KooBits juga memberi teman baru loh. Anak dapat berpartisipasi dalam pertandingan antar siswa, yang memungkinkan mereka menerapkan apa yang mereka pelajari dalam situasi sehari-hari. Dan yang terpenting, orang tua dan guru dapat memantau setiap aktivitas dan perkembangan anak secara instan dan transparan. Biaya berlangganan yang super terjangkau juga bisa membantu orang tua menghemat biaya les tambahan loh. Bagian terbaiknya adalah ketika anak mulai belajar menyukai matematika dengan fun bersama teman-temannya. Yuk kita ajak anak untuk kalahkan si monster itu bersama-sama dengan KooBits.
Imagine we're in a lesson where learning comes alive, where students aren't just listening to the teachers, but inspired, engaged, and empowered to take control of their learning. This is the power of KooBits. KooBits gives a refreshed math and science learning experience. Trusted by hundreds of schools worldwide, KooBits turns traditional education into a dynamic, interactive journey. Our platform is built on the principle of engagement. KooBits makes learning fun and motivating by transforming lessons into interactive challenges and game-like activities. From math problem solving to science quizzer, KooBits provides resources that align with school curriculum and support teachers in enhancing their lessons. Recognition and reward are key to motivate the students. With KooBits, students earn points as they progress. In addition to that, Synergy Education will also support with badges, certificates, and other rewards to encourage kids to stay motivated and achieve more. KooBits designed for every student. No matter the learning pace or style, our platform will meet the needs of each student, creating an adaptive learning environment. Love learning, engage minds, empower future. Learning is fun with KooBits. Join thousands of students and bring the power of interactive learning to your school today.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, moms and dads, and teachers. Welcome once again to today's celebration of Synergy Education's 10-year anniversary and their partnership with KooBits. And of course, we want to celebrate everybody here, the teachers and our top students. Now again, thank you very, very much for being here on a Saturday morning. It's bright and early. I know some of you traveled far, so I want to do a quick survey. How many of you, by a show of hands, traveled here from nearby? So, Tangerang area. Awesome. Well, thank you. You guys traveled quite a bit. What about Jabodebek? So Jakarta, Bogor, Depok, Bekasi. Wow. Okay, you guys traveled a bit further away. So thanks for doing that. Anyone here from outside of the greater Jakarta area? Anyone from Bandung? Wow, look at that. Huge crowd over here. We give them a round of applause for traveling all the way here. And I heard there's some people who traveled even further to get here. Anyone here from out of Java? out of the Java island. Wow, okay, we have one family over here, teacher corner. Amazing. Well, again, welcome. There's going to be a lot of things happening today. I also want to say hi to those of you watching online. Welcome to the event. Now, we're going to hear from quite a bit of people today. So, from some schools, from Synergy Education, and we have a special guest all the way from Singapore, Mr. Stanley, who has flown out here to talk to you guys about KooBits and celebrate all of your achievements as well. But before that, I have a few announcements, just 4, okay? Not too long. The first one, I am sure a lot of you will have questions for Mr. Stanley about KooBits or education in general or digital technology. And later today, he will be sharing a lot of his thoughts and wisdom with all of us. If you want to ask questions, I want to ask you to scan a QR code that I believe will be displayed right now, right about, there you go. So scan this QR code. This is where you can submit all of your questions. And later, towards the end, we will have a Q&A session with Mr. Stanley. Okay, so that's the first announcement. Second announcement. So if you happen to be curious about who Synergy Education is, who is in the team, what are they up to, what else do they do, please follow us on Instagram and see everything that we're doing. Outside, there's a little poster with a QR code, another QR code. Just a heads up, there's going to be a bit of QR codes today. So some scanning here and there. But that QR code will lead you to their Instagram page where you can give them a follow, see what else that they're doing. Third, bathrooms, toilets. Some of you may need to use it all throughout the day. They are located in here, so it's going to be convenient. It's just on your right-hand side. That way, the female bathroom will be on the left-hand side, and then the male bathroom will be on the right-hand side. Students, you don't need to ask me for permission to go. If you need to go, just tell your parents and then go. However, and fourth announcement, okay, this is the last one, I promise. Later, we'll have a little game because Mr. Stanley from KooBits will be sharing a lot of thoughts, a lot of wisdom, and we're going to have a bit of a trivia game to ask all of you and see if you've been paying attention. And we have prizes. There's a lot of prizes going around today. Okay, so when Mr. Stanley is up here, make sure you pay attention. Okay, are we clear on everything? Perfect. Okay, now we're about to get started. I'm going to ask you to now please direct your attention to the screen as we're about to watch a very important safety protocol video.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jakarta Nanyang School. We are proud to host this event, and we thank you for supporting us by attending this event. Before we begin, please pay attention to the safety announcement. Your safety is our first priority. This building has been equipped with fire extinguishers, fire sensing devices, loudspeaker announcements, and emergency exits for evacuation. Please take a few moments to locate your nearest exit. Please remain calm and exit the building promptly through the doors on your left. Take the stairs on your right, follow the stairs to the basement, and gather at our assembly point, the soccer field. Before you enjoy this event, we need your cooperation with some of the following details. First, set your cell phone to silent mode. Second, taking pictures can only be done from your seats. Finally, kindly stay until the event ends. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your kind attention. We hope that all of you will enjoy this event. Stay safe and have a great day.
Thank you. Now I would like to invite all of you to stand on your feet as we kick off this event by singing our national anthem, Indonesia Raya, followed by Mars JNY. please stay standing. Mohon tetap berdiri. And this is going to be followed with the JNY hymn. You may now be seated. Silakan duduk, Bapak Ibu sekalian. Okay, so we'd like to thank, of course, GNY for being the host school of today's celebration, today's event. So now I would like to invite Miss Lini, the principal of Primary, Secondary, and Junior College of Jakarta Nanyang School, to the stage to deliver today's opening address. Can we please give her a warm round of applause?
Good morning. Good morning to the esteemed guest, Mr. Santoso, who is the CEO and the founder of KooBits, along with Mr. Stanley, and also Mr. Lemuel, our principal in the Global Sevilla Pulau Mas, and to all the teachers from around Indonesia, and all the parents and the students here today. So a very good morning, and we are very much delighted and happy that we are able to gather here together to celebrate the success of our learners, and at the same time also to use this opportunity to celebrate also the success of the 10 years journey of PT Synergy Education, which most of you or we all know as the KooBits. Okay. And we are also, on behalf of Jakarta Nanyang School Management, we are very much honored and privileged to be able to host this event here at Jakarta Nanyang School and to be able to collaborate together. Just as one of the vision of the Synergy, just like the name of the company, Synergy Education, we always strive to have collaboration and to work in good synergy, only for the best interest to empower our learners. So thank you to all of you, and I believe also including us here at Jakarta Nanyang School, we feel that the usage of KooBits in our respective schools have helped much to empower our learners. And may we all continue to collaborate and work together for the success only of our students, our learners, that we are able to support them to reach even greater heights. And with that, may we all enjoy this special day together in celebration and for the success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Lini. Now, I would like to go on and welcome another person for another opening address for today, and that is from Synergy Education. Miss Lini has hinted on who it's gonna be, because today we wouldn't be here if it weren't for Synergy Education as we celebrate their 10-year anniversary, okay? Can we please, first, let's give them a warm round of applause as a sign of appreciation as we celebrate with them together. So now I would like to invite Mr. Santoso Budianto from Synergy Education up on stage to say a few words. There's gonna be a video to start.
Hey everybody, welcome to the 10th anniversary video of Synergy Education. we set out to make a difference beyond school walls, ensuring every child has equal access to the best education. No matter who they are, where they are, or when they learn, we are Synergy Education, passionate and committed to you. We make use of technology to reach our dream. Today, we deliver high-quality interactive learning experience pedagogy across Indonesia. All the solutions are carefully curated, so only the best are selected. And it all started right here, with our very first school, Jakarta Nanyang School. For 10 years, we've grown, laughed, and learned together, from teacher trainings, student sessions, and parent information. We hope we've made a difference to those thousands of hearts we touched. Synergy Education has a lifetime to go. We couldn't have done it without you, and we will keep growing together with you. We are not just an education practitioner. We are your companion, your partner in this journey, someone you can trust. Let's build a better Indonesia together with Synergy Education.
Thank you, Mrs. Spencer. Good morning, everyone. Selamat pagi. Annyeonghaseyo. So, let me give a small speech today. My name is Santoso from Synergy Education. Thank you for coming, especially from out of town. And I see a lot of students and children today. Now, who agree with me that parenting is a mixed feeling? Siapa yang setuju? Setuju ya? Parenting is not easy, right? Right? They can be make us feel blessed at times. We want just to get very angry because of kids, yeah? But, you know, whenever I see my kids throw tantrums, kalau anak lagi tantrum gitu ya, my first reactive actions would to silence them with authority. Betul? Does it work? Sometimes, ketika mereka mau nurut, mereka nurut. But mostly when I'm around. So whenever I'm not around, they go back to their old behavior. So I changed my method into a more relationship-based approach, and it works. So whenever I touch their heart, they listen. Now this kind of life lesson is what brings me to Synergy Education. I try to make relationship as a foundation for every service we do. And, you know, from this relationship thing, you matter. Parents, teachers, students, you matter to us. And we hope to uphold this value in the times to come. So let me thank you for the trust that you pay us. And I will not be here without my team that support this event. I will name them one by one. Natalia, and then Reese, and then Karina, and then Ivy, and we have Gerhana, we have Rafi, we have Johan, and have Lily. Spencer also, the team, yeah. And, you know, let me share with you how I started this back in 2015, 10 tahun lalu. There was not a single online learning platform. Bahkan Ruang Guru pun waktu itu kayaknya belum ada. It was very tough. It took me 2 years as a one-man team to build everything. And 2 years to make something akhirnya bisa bear fruit, ada hasilnya. But now we have accomplished quite some time for 10 years. And we want to stick to the mission, which is to provide equal education beyond school walls. Sometimes people say quality education expensive. Setuju? Pendidikan itu mahal sekali zaman sekarang ya. And we try to make this equally for everyone, beyond school walls and beyond the gaps of school fees. So hopefully technology can fill that gap. Semoga teknologi bisa mengisi celah itu dan membuat pemerataan pendidikan lebih baik buat semuanya. So we stick to that mission. And I believe reputation is very important. Yeah, I see teachers move from one school to another school. Some teachers get promoted into principal. Yeah, so it's a small world, and I believe reputation is very important. Semoga reputasi yang kami pertahankan baik-baik ini, the reputation that we uphold, can actually kept intact for many years to come with you all. Okay, so today we are celebrating 10 years of Synergy Education together with KooBits. So KooBits is not the only brand that Synergy Education actually distributes. Yeah, we have others. But as for today, KooBits, as one of the oldest partner of Synergy Education, we'll have its CEO to speak for us after me. I just want to point out that this person is someone very special to me. He's like an older brother. is a friend, a mentor. Sometimes can be really, really annoying, yeah, sir? Just kidding. But this one is very special. Once he speaks, you will know what I mean. Ya, kalau Mr. Stanley udah ngomong, Bapak Ibu pasti ngerti kenapa orang ini begitu spesial. I really admire him, and without him, there will be no KooBits and its excellent education. So, without further ado, saya mau mengundang Mr. Stanley. I want to invite him to the stage. Okay, the one behind KooBits Excellence, the one and only Mr. Stanley Han. Please, Mr. Stanley.
Can we give Mr. Stanley a big, big, big round of applause?
A very good morning to everyone. I'd like to thank Synergy Education and Jakarta Nanyang School for organizing and hosting this event today. A big welcome to all of you, teachers, school leaders, students, and parents. And on behalf of the whole entire KooBits team, I'd like to thank you for your support. So today, I have arranged two interesting presentations to share with you. Over the years, we have done a lot of research. We have done a lot of design work. And hopefully, today, the content I share with you have some benefits and to you and to your child's learning. So a little bit of myself. My name is Stanley. I created the platform 10 years ago together with a few friends. And today, KooBits is one of the most used learning platforms in the entire Southeast Asia region. So I really thank you for your support. And the first topic I'd like to share with you today is how to raise a bilingual kids in a digital world. So actually, our worlds are constantly shaped by events that we can't really predict. Like 15 and 20 years ago, we didn't know what we could have today. I give one of the very interesting examples. About 15 years ago, this gentleman called Travis started this idea of connecting passengers versus and drivers. And today, we have this. All right? The picture on top is Singapore, and the picture below is in Indonesia. And not only affect the entire ride-hailing industry, they also have a huge impact on our traffic conditions, on dining habits, restaurant business, as well as employment opportunities, and all of this. So this is just one of the many examples. So today, we know that the AI wave is coming, and we don't know how the world will turn out in 15 years from now. So as a key question for educators and parents today is how do we prepare our children for an unknown future? Fortunately, the Ministry of Education for most of the countries have a pretty good answers. That's why they design our core curriculum to focus on two key important things. Number one is on the language abilities, the language skills, especially in bilingualism, specifically in the two big languages like English and Chinese. So one of the reasons is that when we look at the biggest economy in the world, right, the English-speaking countries and the entire China is a huge economy. So by able to learning these languages, it provides a huge opportunity for our children in the future. And secondly, today's technology are championed by these two large countries, one in US, one in China, especially in the area of AI and the latest technologies. So the interfacing with technology right now become kind of rooted in these languages, right? So by acquiring these language skills, it gives our children a lot of opportunities to excel when they grow up. And next, in terms of literature, a lot of most advanced literatures in terms of books and published books are in these languages as well. The best practice in marketing, in sales, in management are all written in these languages. So by able to understand this language well as a second language on top of our mother tongue, again, we give children a lot of opportunity when they grow up. The second big part of the focus of our education is on problem-solving skills. And I'll mention more about the problem-solving skill in the second of my presentation. So the first one, I want to talk a little bit more about the language skills. As some of you may know that KooBits started with math. So about 10 years ago, we built the whole entire technology and the content in the research lab of National University of Singapore. And right now, it's been adopted by more than 500 schools in the region. We have hundreds of students using KooBits on an everyday basis. About 2 years ago, we started the journey of building KooBits languages. So today, I want to open my talk by sharing a little bit of back stories about how we build the KooBits language product and the thinking goes behind this whole entire process. So first of all, about a couple of years ago, my daughter went to primary 1. She studied in Singapore primary schools. So naturally, she's been taught in English, and she speaks Chinese mostly at home. And she loves reading books. And she loved reading books so much that even she asked her toys to read books at night. And during a family karaoke session, she'll read books in between the songs. So as a parent myself, I thought, oh, that's good. I don't need to worry about the language learning at all, because Singapore schools are teaching these 2 languages, and my child is naturally interested in reading, so I shouldn't be worried about that at all. But the reality is different, right? When actually she came back with all the school assignments, the homeworks, she didn't know how to spell certain words, consistently making mistakes in the writing compositions. She confuses the one type of words with another type of words in Chinese. She forget about the pinyin when she learned the Mandarin itself. So there are a lot of issues with the language learning. And when I communicate with the school, therefore I realized as a parent, actually, even though there are a lot of language products on the market, we still face all of these problems in our child's language learning. All right? We don't know what our children are being tested upon in the school, because it's sort of like quite a vague for a parent to understand the entire language skills in different areas. We're also not sure how to help our children, which book you need to buy for them. We also don't know how to measure the proficiency. Are they really good in this? Right? And we only wait until the end of the year when the school tests them, then we get the results. Right? So because of that, we thought of bring forward our plan to design the KooBits language product, primarily also to help my families, to help my daughter. And because I feel that if I can help my own family, maybe the work we do can help a lot of other families as well. So how we usually get started with building a product at KooBits? First of all, we always like to think from a user's perspective, right? If I'm building a language product, we are our team, entire team, especially the product design team, to think about how a user should learn a second language on top of the mother tongue language completely from scratch. Because I speak Chinese and English, I was educated in 2 languages, so I can't really remember how I really learned these 2 languages when I was young. Therefore, in order to relieve this experience, I need to pick up a new language to learn it myself. And because a lot of languages are similar to Chinese, like Japanese and Korean, a lot of languages are similar to English, so I need to pick a language that's completely different from my prior experience to gain a little bit of insights into this process. So I started to self-learn a new language about close to 2 years now, 2 years ago, without a teacher, just to understand this process of self-learning a language. So I choose a Thai language to learn, right? Simply because I don't know how to write it. I don't know whether some of you know Thai, but to me it's a very scary language because itself, the pronunciation, the writing, everything is different, right? So at the beginning, I did what most learners will try to choose to do. I learned the basic alphabets, right? I thought, if I learn a language just like English, and you learn A, B, C, D, and all of that. So I started to learn the 44 consonants of Thai language. And it's getting really, really hard because I can't remember all of this. So after 2 weeks, I switched my strategy. I go online, looking for all the YouTubers, and they teach all the languages as well. So I start learning those useful Thai phrases, right? And try to pick up all of these, Hong Nam Yo Ti Nai, where's the toilet? So all of these, try to memorize, drill into my brain. At the beginning, it feels like, hey, I'm making progress because I can remember a few sentences. But as more of these sentences I learn, because I'm not located in Thailand, I don't talk to Thai people every day, so I don't have that language environment to practice my newly learned language. Therefore, I start to forget all of this I learned. So after about 6 weeks, I feel very, very frustrated and defeated because all the effort I put in make me sort of feel that this language is really, really difficult without a teacher, right? I'm not in the country as well, in Thailand, so I don't have opportunity to practice. So this is a very frustrating moment for a lot of language learners when they learn the second language, especially also for children, right? So if I say your child want to learn, for example, Chinese, if they didn't have the environment to speak Chinese at home, and the school primarily communicated in the local language and English, for the child to pick up the Chinese is actually very tough. It's very similar experience that I went through. So, for example, just give you these few examples. Just give you a sense of how difficult to learn the Thai language, right? We have a few words, very commonly used word: luggage, immigration form, reception, potato, squid. These are the Thai languages, Thai vocabularies. So I want to give you a few seconds for you to make an effort, try to remember them, so that you can appreciate the effort your children make when they try to learn a second language from scratch. All right. Later, I'm going to test you and see how much you can remember these things. Okay, so after the 6 weeks of trying in the traditional approach, I'm trying to change another way so that I can kind of conquer this problem. So I try to get some inspiration from the ultimate self-directed learner, which is AI, artificial intelligence, right? So because my company use a lot of AI, we actually are very into the artificial intelligence technology, and we started to use those before ChatGPT was quite famous. So we're always very, very impressed by the fact that this part of technology can self-learn without a teacher, right? Just based on data. So based on my own knowledge about AI, so I redesigned my learning process for Thai. So what I did is, in AI, when we're trying to train the AI models, typically the important thing is we must feed them with very clean data, right? At the beginning when you train an AI model. So similarly, if I want to train my own brain, I start to build very clean data sets of vocabularies. Like I say there's a food called ahan. So I put a picture, meaning of the food with the vocabulary, the way they write it. I intentionally did not include the pronunciation. They call it romanization of languages, because I thought that is kind of confused me in terms of learning the language. So basically that is a clean data set. I built a lot of that just to fit into my brain. So every day when I'm traveling or use my casual time, I'll just pick up a few of these vocabulary, trying to memorize them. So this is an example of some of the vocabulary I try to memorize at the beginning. It looks very scary at the beginning, right? In the first couple of days. But the amazing thing happened after about 2 weeks, after I start to feed very clean data into my brain, because my brain started to pick up some pattern recognition, right? Among one group of vocabulary, there's this something that looks similar, right? There's one portion of the vocabulary that look the same among different vocabularies. So I dig further. So this particular vocabulary pronounced as nam. If you want to romanize it, it's called N-A-M, nam. It means water, right? Then suddenly, once I know the meaning of this particular portion of the vocabulary called nam, a lot of vocabulary start to make sense. For example, if you have nothing in the water, nam plau is actually a plain water. Right? If there's water in the room, hong nam is toilet. If the mother is the water, mai nam means river. Right? If the water become hard, nam keng means hard. It means ice. So suddenly by understanding one, what I call a root word, I'm able to pick up a lot of vocabularies without forgetting. Even I'm not in Thailand speaking the language. Similarly, the other group of vocabulary my brain will start to pick up. There's another common component of those vocabularies. It's called zai, means heart, all right? So if something come into your heart, kao zai means you understand, right? That's why if you met a Thai friend, they'll ask you sometimes, kao zai mai, means do you understand, right? If your heart is good, zai di means you are a kind person, right? If your heart is cool, zai yan means wants you to calm down, right? So by learning again another Thai root word, Zai, my brain started to able to make sense of another group of Thai vocabularies very easily without forgetting, right? Similar approach is also used to learn pronunciation because I didn't learn alphabets because the first 2 weeks of learning alphabet is a very frustrating experience for me, so I gave up learning alphabets. But I'm able to look at the Thai words. Now I can pronounce it even without any romanization, what we call a pinyin or the pronunciation aid, right? Simply because of, again, my brain started to pick up these common patterns. For example, the first word, speak, put. Second one, prik, means chili. Prik Thai, pepper. Paul, father, right? So my brain will notice this weird W-looking shape character likely pronounced as a P, right? So because of that, subsequently, I'm able to recognize and pronounce a lot of Thai words without additional symbols to tell me how to pronounce them. Right. So at the beginning, I was like super excited about this learning approach. I thought I discovered something new, but it turned out this is not new at all. There are years of research to understand how our human master any skills. It could be a language skills, it could be a badminton, it could be any chess playing, right? So it could be any things that you want to master. We have this very famous book called Peak, basically talk about this whole science of learning. So one of these theories about this process is called a deliberate practice. So basically, we can learn and master some skills by, number one, feed your brain with very consistent training activities, getting very consistent feedback whether you are right or wrong. So in my experience, it's the vocab cards for the Thai words. So every time I check it, either I remember it or not, right? So this is a feedback. Then after I get comfortable with this initial scope of work, I need to go slightly beyond the comfort zone, include new vocabularies, and try different data sets. Then eventually, the brain will form something called a mental structure. They will help you to learn and master this thing automatically. So our brain is really amazing organ that we have that can help you to do a lot of things. So another important insight from my personal experience of learning the new language is that language have a root word system in a lot of languages, including English, including Chinese, right? So because languages are invented and built up largely in a sequence from history until now, right? There's language built up in this way. So the order of vocabulary learning make a huge difference, right? Okay, just now I shared with you some of the writings in Thai in this vocabulary. Any of you remembered that, right? Even you actually intentionally try to learn a Thai language, it's actually very difficult to remember those things because it doesn't make sense to you. But right now, imagine you change the order of learning the Thai. Let me give you an example. Right, these are, by the way, these are the words just now. Just refresh for you. Okay, let's change another approach. Okay, let's say for this particular word, immigration form, it's a very long Thai word that it's very scary looking to a lot of new language learners. But imagine you learn something before this word. You learn these few components of this word before that. The first word is called bab. It actually means type. The second word is jua, means check. Actually, the immigration form is actually a type of check on the person to enter the country. Right? So if you learn the vocabulary in a very reasonable logical order, which in my case, actually I learned these 5 vocabulary before the immigration form. So when I'm trying to learn the immigration form, to me, it doesn't cost much of brain power and memory to understand that. I can instantly read the particular new vocabulary and become part of my language database, right? Another example is this particular word, squid, merglade, right? Similarly, have 2 components. The first one is ink. The second one, glaze, actually banana. So it means that if a banana-shaped things that eject ink, Thai people call it a squid, right? So it's kind of interesting for you to remember, these things when you learn a new language, right? It's no longer that scary if you actually have an approach to it, and you find learning language is a very fun and rewarding experience as well. So currently, after I learned the language. By the way, I don't have a teacher to learn this language myself. I also do not take classes. So I only use my casual time to learn Thai. So right now, I have around about 3,000 Thai vocabularies. I learned by myself. I'm able to form sentences. I can speak pretty well. I can write really well, Thai as well. So when I go to Thailand for business trips, sometimes I go around 3 to 4 times a year. I can communicate with people without using Google Translation, right? So this is kind of a very interesting way to learn languages. So the whole point is the learning of vocabulary make a huge difference on your acquisition of language ability, especially for second language. Okay, you may question that how come when I learn my mother tongue language, like for example, Bahasa Indonesia, how come I don't remember I did these things? It's because of native language learning process is very different from second language different learning. Okay, the definition of native language is that when you're in an environment, when you were from 1 year old to 5 years old, that 5 years of your early childhood, that environment, the language, the symbols, writings, dictates the data sets you see every single day. So when your brain grows from 1 year old to 5 years old, your brain gray matters grow one layer at a time. Your brain grows bigger one at a time, one layer at a time. And when your brain grows, it's automatically embedded all these data points into your brain without you making an effort to remember them. Therefore, you don't feel like you are making an effort to learn native language. Okay? But the problem with learning a second language is that after you turn 6 years old, roughly your brain don't grow anymore. So you must activate another part of your brain in order to learn the second language. Therefore, learning second language is actually a lot tougher, because you need to try to memorize them or use them, or you put yourself in an environment where people say that all the time. Right? Therefore, you don't see a lot of people can master really good 2 languages at the same time, or even 3 languages. It's very rare. It's simply because of the brain development, right, in this way. So apart from this thing, we also did a lot of research as well as a product team. Apart from we go through the user journey ourselves, we have to do extensive research. For example, for both English, we had to study Cambridge, Oxford, and all of this. For Chinese, we had to study the Singapore Chinese, Taiwan Chinese, Hong Kong Chinese, Beijing Chinese, in order for us to form a view of how we actually develop the language products. So ultimately, for KooBits language product, we want to build 3 things, 3 components to meet 3 objectives. Number 1, we want to give the children the language ability. Just now I talked about you are able to communicate, understand, listen, write, right, in a particular language. Number 2, we also want the students to score well in the language exams in school, right? So even some of the students able to speak English pretty well, but they still lose marks in exams. Third objective is actually we want to give parents like me the visibility of your child's language ability. Like for me, I want to see, okay, this is my child's language ability. There's a visible matrix for me to gauge where they need help, where they need to, they're already pretty proficient in which area, right? So if you actually do the language components in these few things, there are like writing skills, speaking skills, reading. But our exam formats are slightly different, right? They're called grammar MCQ, right? Closed passage. So all of these things. So as a parent, sometimes I find it very difficult to relate the exam formats into the language ability. So we further break this thing down to read even like bite-sized kind of language skills. Then we kind of bring them back to synthesize into the middle of it. So by every data point we track when the child actually perform an activity and practice the language. So eventually we form a beautiful diagram like this to parents, so you can roughly know that, okay, which part of the language skills my child needs more help. I think this kind of visibility is good for educators, it's also good for parents. Okay, because of language is different from math and science, because math and science are quite related to each other as an entire thing. Language, we have reading, speaking, different language skills. Sometimes the language skills are independent of each other. I give you an example. You may have met a person who is able to speak Chinese, but unable to write Chinese, right? You have met a person who can able to understand Chinese, but unable to speak Chinese or read Chinese. So language ability can be trained independently by these few skills. But through our research, I realized there's a more foundation layer that can help to improve all your language skills, which is vocabulary. And the vocabulary actually, in terms of mastering of the vocabulary, we did a very extensive study of Singapore, Hong Kong, and Taiwan markets on their English proficiency. So I can give you some data. In primary school in Singapore, the English vocabulary proficiency, the requirement is roughly about 8,000. So as a primary school children, if they want to do well in the PSLE exam, in the primary 6 exams, they want to score A, they need to master roughly around 8,000 vocabulary in Singapore. Hong Kong, that requirement roughly is about 5,000 to 6,000. In Taiwan, the primary school English vocabulary proficiency is only about 1 to 1,005. Therefore, it changes the entire country's people's English proficiency. Singapore English is actually higher than Hong Kongers. And Hong Kong is also higher than Taiwan, right? So just by looking at the proficiency level of the vocab count, we can already gauge the proficiency of the language ability, because vocabularies also affect the listening, reading, understanding, and writing. Right? If a person only understands 500 vocabularies of a language, it's very difficult to listen to another person, because very high chance the other person can speak something that you don't even know the meaning of the vocab. Yeah. So we want to focus a lot on that foundation layer of the language, which is vocabulary. Just take one example of Chinese. Learning Chinese in Singapore is actually very, very painful subject, because a lot of kids just talk in English, right? And they don't speak Chinese at home at all. And the vocabularies, the requirement of the textbook is about 2,000 in primary school in Singapore. It looks very scary to the children, right? And this is from some of the Singapore textbooks in primary 1. I believe some of the schools in Indonesia are also using the Singapore textbook for Chinese as well. So the order of the learning for this vocabulary are organized by something I call a modern theme, like supermarket, shopping, travel. Because these topics are too modern, they didn't build from the history. So the vocabulary is very random. Like just now I mentioned about the luggage, immigration, and all of this, right? By learning luggage, it doesn't help you to learn immigration. By learning immigration, it doesn't help you to learn the word passport, right? So all these words are sort of disconnected in a way, right? So one of the key research we have done is how do we kind of resequence the word within the syllabus requirements of the Ministry of Education, but yet make learning a lot easier. So internally, we call the KooBits vocab tree. Right? I'll give you an example of some of the data. So if you learn Chinese, for example, at the KooBits, the first word, let's say you want to learn from scratch, right? The first word we're going to teach you is 1. The second word we're going to teach you is 2. Then we're going to teach you subsequently the moon and the sun. Then we're going to teach you drawing words, right? Of the 1 you just learn and the moon, which is 1月 means January, right? So the vocabulary learning is built on top of each other, one by one. So when children are learning in this way, they don't feel it's very difficult to learn, because everything is based on something they learned before, right? For example, just now in the Thai examples, the root word in Chinese is similar. If you learn the root word shu first, there are a lot of vocabulary you can just learn without much effort, right? But we have identified those root words and sequenced them well for the children to easily digest. So apart from the data structure we need to change, we also did a lot, but these are all the words you need to learn, which is very scary, right? So we also did a lot of innovation on the memorization for the children. So the first thing is we use illustration to make children memorize the Chinese character really well. Same for English. We have the same innovation for English as well, right? So for the umbrella, if you look at the word umbrella, if the children, the first time they learn is in this way, the shape of the umbrella into the drawing, you help them to retain the knowledge 6 times more effective than normally they just write the Chinese words. We also use humor to help children to remember things. For example, for the word on the right side is called wan, means a night or evening, right? Actually, this Chinese word comes from the meaning of in the absence of the sun. It means the night, right? So we basically use an animation to show that there's this Chinese goddess. To make the sun disappear from the sky, it becomes the night. Yeah. Similarly, we are actually using acting out, right, to help children to visualize each of these Chinese characters. So they become like a fun game for the kids, right? So every character they can learn easily without putting a lot of effort into this. I give you an example how we sequence the vocabularies and characters, make the memorization super easy. So this is a word, 火, which is fire in Chinese. The same animation, if we put the same animation into a jar, we put off the fire. So in Chinese, it means 灭, it means extinguish the fire. Right? In this way, the children can easily memorize this. Even for those who are non-Chinese, you want to learn Chinese, this is a very easy way for you to remember that. Maybe another vocab card, we put the fire on top of a man. Right? If the fire is on top of you, means you are annoyed, frustrated, a little bit angry. So that's precisely the meaning of that vocabulary fun. Right? So subsequently, when you learn the word 烦恼, you can guess the meaning of this particular phrase. Yeah. So apart from that, we allow full translation of learning, meaning that if you learn English and Chinese at KooBits, you can translate them all into Bahasa dynamically. So you help the children, if they actually the native mother tongue language is another language, learning is not a problem. Have pronunciations, all of this. So this is the example how they can actually follow the stroke sequence of the Chinese, and the children can just learn easily without pretty much of effort. This is another example. They can just use their touch screen or a pen to write it. Then we can recognize them, or they can use pinyin to input as well. So we just recently launched the KooBits Chinese in Singapore about 3 weeks ago. So right now the take-up rate of the whole Chinese is almost the same standard of the KooBits math, because learning Chinese in Singapore is a huge problem. The other thing is maybe you are familiar with the forgetful curve. Let's say if your child learns something, you'll forget over time. So we basically built up the learning to really kind of counter this effect of forgetting, right? So the cards will appear to the children on the strategic days so that they will not forget after a few repetitions. So these are all done automatically when the children are learning language. Another challenge that usually parents face when we teach children the second language is that they learn a few vocabulary, the words. But when we borrow a book from the library, a lot of books have things they don't know. So they are not interested to learn to read the books at all, right? Because there are so many vocabulary they don't know how to read. So what we have done is, based on the child's vocabulary standard, we actually build the books based on the vocabulary the child knows, right? If their child have already learned about 200 vocabularies, the books roughly only use that vocabulary to tell a story. So the children have no difficulty reading the book, so that will help them to have more motivation to read and learn. So it become a pretty good virtuous cycle, right? So I'll give you an example of the reading. So for the reading, they also have this, what we call point and read. So they really point to each of the word and read out for them.
营地里弥漫着一种紧迫感。
This
杰
is
哥
a
叹
primary
了口
5
气说：“我们在
reading
热带稀
material.
树草原上发现了很多塑料，会严重影响动物。”
Yeah, so basically all of this is automatically aligned to them on their proficiency level. So apart from the learning the vocabulary and reading, of course the school may test them. So there are different kind of school examination formats. Again, we have to build those content for the child to really build up the examination skills as well. So in Singapore, as a parent, the school are testing us on the spelling for both English and the 听写 for Chinese every week. So as a parent, I need to like really help my kids every single week. So we also built that kind of mobile experience on the parent's phone. So right now, my child just can automatically practice spelling for both English and the Chinese on their own, right? So some of these things. And one last very important technological development we have built for the teachers and parents is apart from this 笔画 stuff, is on this marking. We all know that when the children learning language, whether it's English or Chinese, they write a composition. For us to do the marking on the composition is very difficult, right? So we have to read the child's things, we have to pick up the spelling mistakes, and we have to comment on the sentence structure, the grammar, and etc., etc. So we have used AI to sort of build an auto marking system. So you can just scan your child's writing. You will automatically pick up all the mistakes. Okay? You will turn the mistakes of spelling into a proper homework for your child to do. And you will also recreate the same writing based on your child's ideas and like a model essay, right? For your child to learn from the same model essay. So this thing personally saved me tons of job, tons of time as well at home, because constantly I need to rewrite my daughter's the writing in order to help her, right? So this is something that is pretty accurate. We have tested in both English and Chinese. I think the accuracy is roughly about 99%, right? In terms of spotting all the mistakes. Even the child's writing is pretty gibberish, right? I think we can able to identify those things. And this is probably potentially a very effective tool for the teachers as well. The teacher need to do a lot of marking. Yeah. So with that is some of the sharing I have today on the language learning. So to summarize, to learn the second language is very different from learning the native language, right? And there's a more effective way for your child to acquire a second language, even the child is not in the environment of those language-speaking communities. Right? The order of learning of the vocabulary make a huge difference when your child try to memorize the new words and the new vocabulary, right? And all of these things, if they can systematically join together, you will actually prove very effective for the child's learning, right? So that will be the first part of my sharing today. I think we're going to go into the award ceremony. So all the kids are very excited to receive their awards from Synergy Education and KooBits. I will pass the mic back to the MC. Yeah, thank you so much.
Bapak Ibu, ini spontan ya, ini nggak di dalam rundown, jadi saya minta waktu 5-10 menit untuk maju. Dari tadi saya dengerin ya, kepala saya dipenuhi sama dua hal doang ya. Satu, saya takut banget, pada nggak ngerti. Waktu beliau ngomong bahasa Inggris kecepatan nggak? Nggak ya? So you understand? Oh, thank God ya. Saya pikir 40 menit itu Bapak Ibu ini ngomong apa gitu ya. Tapi hal kedua yang saya kepikiran adalah, the second thing that crossed my mind when I listen to the session, do you actually see that this person is very smart? Ya, dia belajar bahasa, ya dia sengaja pilih bahasa yang paling susah, buat dia tuh pelajarin sendiri secara otodidak. Dan dia mau cari kira-kira language, is there a secret recipe that I can crack among different languages. Dan dia ketemu yang namanya root word. Tadi dia ada ngomong ya, satu kata akar itu bisa turunannya banyak sekali dan membuat kita belajar cluster of words dengan lebih gampang. So this is the person behind KooBits Excellence. Hopefully you get what I'm thinking, ya. Dan semoga kita bisa melanjutkan sesi ini dengan happy. Karena kalau Bapak Ibu nggak ngerti, saya terpaksa harus secara mendadak mengubah banyak tatanan untuk Bapak Ibu lebih ngerti. Tapi kalau udah pernah ngerti, syukurlah gitu ya. Nah berikutnya MC akan lanjut dengan pemberian award pada dua klien kami yang paling tua. Dua sekolah yang paling pertama mempercayakan pembelajarannya pada Synergy Education. They are Jakarta Nanyang School, of course, the host of the event. Secondly, Global Sevilla Pulau Mas. Ya, waktu itu kami berurusan dengan Miss Maya Kriplani, beliau sudah nggak di GSPM, tapi hari ini diwakilkan oleh Mr. Lemuel. yang datang jauh-jauh dari Pulau Mas. So, aku mengundang Pak Spencer sebagai MC untuk melanjutkan acara, tapi kayaknya ada kuis kecil-kecilan berhadiah dulu kayaknya nih. Silakan Pak.
Thank you so much, Mr. Santoso. Can we give Mr. Santoso a round of applause? Thank you. Okay, so now, how many of you paid attention to Mr. Stanley the entire time? The entire time. Because we're going to quiz you, and there's a prize for you, okay? So how we're going to do this is, team, can we display the QR code? Okay, so how we're going to do this is, we're not going to raise our hands. That'll be a bit chaotic. So do scan this QR code, okay? It'll lead you to a website. Now, on that website, you're going to write down your name for now. So hit the button, I think it says ask or something where you can type. For now, please type your name. That way we can identify who wins, okay? I'll give you 10 seconds, maybe a bit more. I know there's a lot of you, there's a lot of scanning. So make sure it's your first and last name. For me, I can't just say Spencer, because some of you may have the same names, and that'll be very confusing. So make sure it's your first name and last name. Okay. Now, once you've done that, I'm going to ask the question. One moment. Oh, okay, guys, let's redo this, okay? I know some of you have submitted your name. Let's do that again. Type your name, but don't submit, okay? After this, I'm going to ask the question, and you type your answer after your name. For example, okay, so I would type Spencer Lestiadi apple pie, something like that, okay? That way we know who you are when you answer. Sound good? Everybody ready on their phones? I'm going to be asking the question. Okay. Can we display the QR again, team? Oh, QR. Okay, go ahead. Remember, don't hit submit. Just write your name and have it ready and type the answer. Because I only have one prize for one winner this round. We're going to have more rounds later. Okay, stand by. Everyone ready for the question? Yes? I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now, I trust that a lot of you already have your names written down and ready to type the answer, okay? So, the question is, what year was Uber founded? Go. What year was the Uber founded? Uber di-founding.
Severus Moses.
You already have an answer?
Severus Moses.
You already have a winner.
Yeah. Severus Moses. Okay. Anyone with the name Severus Moses?
Severus.
Anyone? Yeah, come forward. Come.
Please come in front.
So this is our winner.
Man.
Yeah. Great job. The answer is?
I'm going to give you the mic. You can tell us the answer. By the way, fast hands.
2009.
2009. Is that right? Amazing. Well, I have
Yes,
a present
Mr.
for
Spencer has a hong pao for you.
you. There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can we give him another round of applause?
Right.
Amazing. We're going to do that again, but you guys now already know what to do. Okay? So fast hands, people. That's the key. Okay. Now, later on, Mr. Stanley will be back for another session and then also Q&A. Now, if you already have questions from the first session, again, on your coupon that you receive outside, so this little guy over here, there's a QR in the corner that says Q&A. If you want to submit your questions there, you can. Kalau pertanyaannya bahasa Indonesia juga nggak apa-apa. We will translate it for you guys, okay? But for now, we do want to celebrate some schools, as Mr. Santoso has said. Now, these schools have trusted Synergy Education and KooBits for 10 years since the beginning. And they helped launch Synergy Education forward. So now I would like to invite Miss Tess from Jakarta Nanyang School and Mr. Lemuel from Global Sevilla Pulomas to the stage. We give them a round of applause. Okay, now also I'd like to invite Miss Nat from Synergy Education and Mr. Stanley to the stage to hand them their token of appreciation. The first award is for Global Sevilla Pulomas, represented by Mr. Lemuel. Smile for the photo.
Ayo, tepuk tangan kita untuk sekolah GSPM.
Okay, next is, of course, Jakarta Nanyang School. And fun fact, one of the tokens that you see over here is the Singapore Mint. It's a symbol of prosperity, and for schools, it also symbolizes the success of students and the fruitfulness of students around the world. Lots of gifts, lots of gifts. I think Mr. Lemuel and Miss Tess, they should put down the... Thank you so much, Stanley. Now, we want to continue celebrating and giving shout-outs. Students, we are about to celebrate all of you. Now, please, for students for grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 last year, our ushers are going to start to help guiding you to your spots. That way, later on, it's going to be easier and smoother for us to get them through the stage and receive their awards. But before that, I do want to give a special shout out one more time for the family who traveled the furthest to get here. Now, a quick story, right? This family arrived here from Medan last night, staying here for this event. And today, I heard that after lunch, they'll be heading back to Medan. So we want to give them a special shout out for their commitment and support for Synergy Education and KooBits and, you know, their willingness to travel this far. Can we give them a round of applause for the Tortona family? And the Tortonas, if you don't mind standing on your feet so we can see where you are. That's Mr. Clifford, accompanied by Mrs. Maythel and their 2 sons, Miguel and Matthew. Thank you so much. Great, okay. So now, we're getting to the part that you all have been waiting for. As you know, Synergy Education, and KooBits, you've heard from them that their mission is to empower teachers and of course, ultimately learners in Indonesia. So in that spirit, we would like to celebrate these teachers and these students. What are these awards? So I'll take a moment to explain to you how these awards work, okay? The first one is for teachers. We call them champion teachers. these are the educators who have shown their excitement and commitment in using KooBits throughout the year. So what we see is the highest classroom performance throughout the year. So we want to celebrate all of these teachers who have shown their commitment to not just using the platform and the tool that is KooBits, but also to helping their learners learn math effectively. For the students, and I see some of you are wearing your uniforms. This is so cute and I love it. But today we're celebrating the top brain achievements. How does this work? Okay, so within KooBits, every season we have a leaderboard 4 times a year. Now, top brain achievers are those students who have been placed in the top 50 for their respective grade levels in Indonesia 3 or more times in the past year. So 75% of the time, they've been in the top 50 in Indonesia. Now, those are amazing achievements. So, to help me with these awards, I would like to welcome Miss Nat and Mr. Riz from Synergy Education, and they'll help us out with reading the students' names and the teachers.
Yes. Okay, we're going to start with the teachers. Beloved parents and students, we know that many achievements in KooBits are influenced seriously by the teachers, and there are 18 teachers who were very helpful, yang sangat memotivasi anak-anak di tahun ajaran yang lalu, in the past academic year. So for the champion teachers 2024 and 2025, I will call the name. First is from Sampurna Academy Jakarta, Miss Carmel Kasitit. She is not here, but you can give an applause, yes. She's the number 1 for grade 1. We have Miss Putri Diani Paramita. And also, the one who is with us over here, you can go through the stage, Miss Maitel. Yes, through here, Miss. From Sampurna Academy Medan. Again, please give a round of applause for Miss Maitel over here. Please come forward, Miss. Thank you. Thank you. And also Miss Yulia Ernawati from SDK 6 BPK Penabur Bandung. She is not here. Mr. Daniel Darmawan from SDK 6 BPK Penabur Bandung. Miss Joanne Kim Mayong Guda from Sampurna Academy Jakarta. Please come forward, Miss Joanne. Congratulations. Next is Mr. Roel Pineda from Sampurna Academy Surabaya. I believe he is watching right now. Also, we have Miss Holly Krisyanti. She's here with us. From Kairos Gracia Christian School. Also, Miss Andrea from Sampurna Academy Jakarta. Is she here with us? Miss Andrea Vilayasusa. Vilayasusa? Yay! Hi, Miss Andrea. Please come forward. And next. Oh, sorry. We will take a picture first with the lower level. Lower level. This is myself. Congratulations, Miss. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you. Miss Sally, thank you. Let's take a picture with Mr. Santoso and Mr. Stanley as well. Over here. Thank you for the champion teachers from grade 1, 2, and 3. And the next upper level, of course, We also have champion teachers for grade 4, 5, and 6. For grade 4, the number 1 is Miss Pina Ariantika from Sekolah Pelita Fajar Bandung. Can I hear your voice? Pelita Fajar. Give a hand of applause for Miss Pina. Congratulations, Miss Pina. And also for the next, Miss Andrea will have to go again just to take a picture, Miss. Also, Mr. Clifford John Tortona from Sampurna Academy, Medan. Yay! For grade 5, we have Mr. Hayes, Mr. Hasmer Belago from Sampurna Academy, Jakarta. Yes. Number 2, we have Miss Grace Simamora from Sekolah Pelita Fajar. Number 3, we have Mr. Hendry Prayogo Wijaya from Bina Tunas Bangsa School. You must be proud Bina Tunas Bangsa students, yeah. Mr. Henry is one of the champion teachers as well. And for grade 6, rank 1, Miss Cecilia Dwi, Sekolah Pelita Fajar. Miss Priska Dewi from SDK 6, BPK Penabur Bandung. Yo, your teacher, yeah. I can hear that. And Mr. Lucas Maroto, they cannot come today. From SDK 6, BPK Penabur Bandung. Give a round of applause for our champion teachers. Thank you for your support, teachers. Mr. Spencer.
Well, thank you and congratulations again, teachers. Thank you for your commitment to teaching all of our children on math. Well, we are about to go into awarding the students. Who's excited? Parents, are we excited?
Woo!
Yeah? Parents are a bit quiet today. It's a Saturday, so I get it. Well, Miss Nat is again gonna help us with reading the names of the students. Mr. Stanley and Mr. Santoso, if you can come on stage as we celebrate the kiddos this morning. And we are going to start with grade 1 students. So please, Miss Nat.
Okay, I will read the name of our top brand champions from grade 1. Okay, Aldrich Albi Prasetyo from Sampurna Academy BSD. Federico Alexander Samuel Atli from SDK 6 BPK Penabur Bandung. Amanda Lilian Grace from Sampurna Academy BSD. Ebenezer Putra Angelo from Sekolah Pelita Fajar Bandung. Federico Jose Gabrielo from SDK BPK Penabur Taman Holis Indah. Kalinda Fedira Setiawan from Sekolah Pelita Fajar Bandung. Kendrick Irving Gunawan from Penabur Taman Holis Indah. Luka Richardson from Sampurna Academy Surabaya. Van Marilyn Kalista from Sampurna Academy BSD. Valencia Eleanor from Sekolah Pelita Fajar Bandung, and Muhammad Rohansyah from Sampurna Academy Jakarta, and Alice Gracia Augustine from Sekolah Pelita Fajar Bandung. Yeah, some of them cannot come, but still we are very proud of all the great students' accomplishment. Yeah, they've been consistently doing their challenges in KooBits and achieved the top 50 in Indonesia for 3 times or even more. Let's take a picture. Let's take a picture. Thank you, grade 1. You can go back to your seat, grade 1, and we are going to read for grade 2. I'm going to read the name only, sorry, because it might take too long. Saya akan bacakan namanya ya langsung dari grade 2. Oh, grade 1. Oh, grade 1 was not done just now. Oh, I missed Rodrigue's name, sorry. So for grade 2, next. Audrey Josephine, Celine Angelina, Ashley Ivanka Setiawan, Ayesa Sike Wivena, Eldrick Daniel Evander, Emily Wijaya, Jackie Cendana, Jesslyn Amelia, Jillian Adeline Wibowo, Keegan Aldrich Young, Kevin Rich Taslim, Clarissa Eugene Gunawan, Michael Arianto, Miguel Aris Tortona, Ellison Valerie Trisaputra, Celine Abigail Prahasapati, Diego Emmanuel Kusmajaya, Gisela Cheryl Tanuwijaya. Jaden Wilson Chandra Santosa, Melville Jehosafat Lim, Fatima Eleanor Aro Shumaira Prawiro. This is a wonderful opportunity because not every year we have the special awarding. Usually we will send the award to school. But because this is our 10th anniversary, we invite the CEO himself to come and give the award to the students. Because we are so proud of you. Thank you so much, kids, for your hard work and your consistency. Okay, let's take a picture. Okay, let's take a picture. Thank you, grade 2. You may go down through that direction. Yes. Thank you. Now followed by grade 3 students. Follow your friends. Yes. Followed by grade 3 students. Arzan Behram Irani, Adeline Gisela Fiandra, Andrew Elnathan Tarigan, Cleon Leonard Wibowo, Dio Rafael Sinaga, Eli Astria Kwo, Felicia Davandra, Gracia Tanuwijaya, Gwen Roland Unadi, Hanela Naomi Chandra, Hansel Leonard Susila, Isabel Ricardo Go, Isaura Arsila Abigail, Jaden Oliver Yuwono, Javin Orlando Yuwono, Jeremia Sie, Jordi Gracio Mikael, Jorel Givencio Shu, Caitlin Patricia Audrey, Katniss Zilvania Keifa, Kendrick Marley Lim, Kenzie Samuel, Kevin Leonard Wong, Mikaela Zelensky, Miracle Yora Indi Setio, Nicole Ashley Wijaya, Oliver Wyatt Liang, Rieko Mori, Roderick Vanse Manuel, Sofia Charlotte Jesslyn Alexia Susantio, Joanna Jesslyn Gunawan, Josephine Eliana Nathania, Jovan Budi Darmansyah, Paruliano Jeheskiel Kien, Spain, Tobias Jacinto Joseph de Cruz. That's top brand champions for grade 3. Congratulations! Good job, grade 3. It's not easy. You have to do the daily challenge every day. And you know what, Mr. Stanley, it's not only the kids. The parents also have to take a look at the leaderboard every day to check the points, yeah? Also very high in supervising. Good job, parents. You must be proud of your kids. Daily challenge every day, peer challenge every day, and Sunday mini challenge every week. Consistency is the key. Ooh. Such a word. Let's take a picture. Thank you, grade 3. You may go down through the right direction. On your right. Thank you, grade 3. Yeah, good job. Now, be ready, grade 4. Top brand champions for grade 4 2024-2025. Erlyn Belvania Ang, Alvin Frederick Teguh, Aurora Linchen, Caleb Elias Dharma Wirya, Karen Jonathan, Cheryl Fania Jonathan, Dennis Abigail Prasetyo, Edgar Evandier Shu, Felix Alexander Sumendap, Ferlin Dominika Wijaya, Gandhi Fabrio Tanwifa, Gabriel Sigfred Wong, Hansen Joseph Valerino, Jason Matthew Sidabutar, Jesslyn Felicia Kawiharja, Josh Walter Tandean, Kenneth Flynn Wijaya, Kiana Annabelle Jun, Layson Triton Susanto, Leonard Kenzie Victor, Matias Damar Subroto, Meli Tanto, Sean Brighton Cho, Soraya Germano, Vincent Nathanael, Zefariu Lijaya, Edward Gaudencio Kalianda, Sky Davinia Apriana Ong, Valencia Carmen Shangri-La, Valentino Marco Fernandez, Kalista Natania Aciera Sebayang, Mikaela Winel Keona Cugito, Mikaela Emmanuel Tristijan. The top brand champions for grade 4. Congratulations! Yay, let's take a picture. Congratulations, grade 4. You can go down to the right direction. Now be ready, grade 5. I'm also talking to myself because you know what? A lot of grade 5 students are here. Wow, grade 5 champions. The top brand champions for grade 5. Angeline Natania Liu, Axel Gabriel Raurens, Calixto Pratama Ruslim, Carlson Rachel, Caroline Lovelyn Dahl, Clara Estrada Leo, Daryl Revandia Susatyo, Davin Gerald Prayogo, Evelyn Agus Salim, Felicia Evelyn Sumendap, Gendis Rafalia Azahra, Grace Emily Cho, Ivana Hartono, Jason Christopher Wu, Joanne Charlotte Huang, Jonathan Davin Mamesa, Kathleen Lim Indrayana, Leon Mateo Keliat, Matthew Jetro Sebastian, Maxwell Eugene Wijaya, Michelle Princesa Susila, Naomi Kalista Wijaya, Nararia Ezra Anargia, Nathan Reddy Joyo, Nicolin Jemima Johnson, Prudence Iona Effendi, Reynard Gabriel Theodore, Samuel John Saputra, Summer Abigail Sultantio, Troy Emmanuel Dalton, Zoe Kalista Raurens, Andra Marvelo Andiaksa, Caroline Yvonne Kurniawan, Chelsea Victoria Trisaputra, Maximilian George Tumbelaka, Mikael Engelbert Runtulalo, Michelle Abigail Simanjuntak, Raden Roro Gania Permata, Serafim Areta Putri Justisia, Theodore Sebastian Wijaya, and Daniel Sincere Bartel Tambunan. Our top brain champions from grade 5. Congratulations! grade 5 students, and I can assure your parents, they are grade 5 students. Daily challenge, peer challenge, doing KooBits is not something new for them. So maybe they've been doing this for 5 years. Now they reap what they have sown. Yeah, they have built the habits, and I believe some of the parents were asking, KooBits mempengaruhi nilai nggak, Miss? Gitu ya. Diambil nggak sih nilainya sama sekolah? I said it depends on the school, tergantung sekolahnya. Tapi saya yakin, saya percaya based on the experience, anak-anak yang rajin mengerjakan, rajin berlatih, pasti nilainya terpengaruh. Ada yang mengalami? Ya, harusnya pasti nilainya terpengaruh. Ya, this is our champion students for grade 5 who've been working so hard and consistently, okay, practicing every day. Top brain champions from grade 5. Congratulations.
With grade 5, I have to stand next to them. They will cover me almost the whole body. Too tall.
Mr. Stanley, you want to stand over here? You want to stand over here in front? Can you be seen?
Can you see me?
Yay, okay. Yes, good.
All good? Parents, all good? Okay, move on to grade 6, okay? Wow, I'm looking at teenagers over there.
The first line.
Amazing.
First line going down first.
Yeah, to the
first
right.
line.
To
First,
the right side.
first row first.
Careful.
Second row, please wait. Okay, grade 6 students. Please
The
move
preteens.
forward.
Yeah.
Okay, grade 6 students, you may come forward. Grade 6, come forward. Grade 6, come forward. Yes.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, let me read the name of the champion. Adeodatus Calvin Rusli, Asa Keinara Haditanoyo, Caitlin Victoria Emmanuel, Sheris Chang, Cheryl Fanglin Lee Haryanto, Daniela Kelly Prakoso, Darren Nathaniel Wijaya, Darren Yeheskiel Prasetyo, Denzel Caden Marluis, Dominic Samuel Bless, Emily Audrey Guinevere Lynn, Hazel Clarabella Lynn, Jaden Elliot Satyari, Jezeli Vincent Yo, Jefferson Felix Lynn, Jennifer Gabriel Kalista, Jocelyn Charenhu, Kayla Gabriel Haryono, Livia Audrey Anggara, Matthew Adam Tortona, Oliver Austin Sutantio, Patricia Elena, and Reward Edward Tan. Selena Trinity Sutanto, Severus Leonidas Moses, Sherlyn Aurelia Susilo, Fania Aurelia Santosa, William Hans Christian, Sherlyn Elbareta Herianto, Jennifer Kirsten Kurniawan, Jesselyn Olivia Halim Saputro, Lukas Zebadia Setiadi Lukieta, Maximilian Melvit Mamahit, Revival Kayla Belvania Supriyadi, Nadia John Priska Antoniette Landy. That's the wrap of Top Brain Champions Grade 6. Congratulations! Let's take a picture for grade 6 champions. good. Thank you. Thank you. You may go down. Grade 6 champion students. Also, last but not least, we have the best students from Jakarta Nanyang School. There are 10 of them. I will read the name. The 10 students from Jakarta Nanyang School. You can go forward first. Yes. This is the 10 students who achieved the best from the last academic year, Jakarta Nanyang School. Celine Georgia Chayadi, Kezia Eleanor Grace, Fu Tinghe Hubert, Ryu Kensi Tan, Kalesti Jasi Pramudiono, Jonathan Skylar Franciscus, Mariam Curie Perkoso, Naban Alfati Yusuf, Sky Lituhayu Ananta, Narendra Zain Anafi Salim. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, those are the students who get the highest number of skills in Jakarta Nanyang students. They are also doing the KooBits mission very diligently. We are so proud of them.
Wow, thank you everybody. And thank you so much, Miss Nat, Mr. Stanley, and everybody from the Synergy Education team for your help. Can we give yourselves a round of applause, please? Amazing, amazing. Now, I want to share a little bit, just a bit of fun fact about Synergy Education. So Miss Nat, whose voice you just heard, who spoke for so long and very, very clearly, she is part of Synergy's customer success team. Now, in case you don't know what that is, their job is to work very, very hard to make sure that all of you, all of the students, and all of the teachers have the best experience with the KooBits platform. So they do a lot of work in learning, okay, how are the students doing? What do teachers like? What can we do better? So can we please give Miss Nat and Mr. Riz a round of applause as a sign of appreciation? Now, okay, as promised, there's another round of trivia. So get your phones out. I have 2 more prizes. I'm going to ask one question right now and let you answer. I'm going to give you 1 prize. Can we display that QR one more time for the trivia? Perfect. If you lost it, if you closed it, scan the QR code. And the same as before, write your name. Don't submit it. Write your name and be ready to answer the question. I'm going to give you 10 seconds, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now, here is the question. Are we ready? What is, you have to pay attention for this one. What is the Thai word for water? What is the Thai word for water?
Severus Moses again?
No, you're too fast. Okay, we're gonna give somebody else a chance. Thank you. Change. Give me 1 moment. I think we have a winner.
Oh, Maximilian George Tumbelaka.
Maximilian George, where are you? Maximilian. Come up here. Great job. Okay. You want to come up? Wow. First of all, high five. do you want to tell us the answer? Num. Is that right? Amazing. Well, here you go. This is for you. Congratulations. Okay, I just received news. We need somebody to move their car. The plate is from Binus. The plate is 1696. 1696. Jika ada yang memiliki mobil plat 1696, mohon bantuannya untuk memindahkan mobil. Because it's blocking the road. Thank you so much. Okay, with that, I'll have another one later, okay? It's going to be a new set of questions, so don't forget what he said, okay? But Mr. Stanley is about to come up again to talk about something that I personally find very interesting as well. I want to ask you, okay, students, if you're a student, how many of you have used AI? ChatGPT, Google Assistant, whatever it may be. Amazing. So many of you. Okay, parents, how many of you want to know how to use AI to help your children learn better? Okay, there's a few. Great. So in this next session, Mr. Stanley is going to tell us a little bit about how you can leverage AI to learn faster math and learn faster in general. Can we please welcome back Mr. Stanley from KooBits? Guys, we can do better than that. Let's give him a loud round of applause. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Spencer. Thank you so much. First of all, congratulations to all the students who win the awards. And I know it's a long day, so the next sharing I'm going to do is mostly on math. As KooBits have the longest history of research in math, the next session is actually very entertaining. There are very interesting things I'm going to share today. Just waiting for the slides to come up. Yep. Okay, so mastering math in the age of AI. As we know, just now I mentioned about the things we need to do to prepare our children for the future. Apart from language abilities, we need to really talk about the problem-solving skills. But we have a challenge because problem-solving skills is very vague and it's very hard to measure. It's different from language, which you can hear your children speak the new language, right? But for problem-solving, it's all in the brain. So how do we actually do that? Just a broad, very high-level sharing on the difference between language learning and math and science learning. For language learning, whenever you learn something, the value is very immediate, right? Instantly, if your child knows just now the word nam, right? You learn a new Thai word nam. Next time you can speak to a Thai person, nam. So this is very immediate value. But if your child learned today 1 + 2 = 3, right? The value is not immediate, right? The concept of addition and how to apply in life is a projected value down to the future, right? So that's one. Number two is for language, mostly the scope is quite finite, right? You learn a fixed number of words, then you can communicate, right? But for math and science, the scope is actually infinite in the future, right? The things you learn, you need to constantly apply to new situations. You learn math, you need to apply to accounting, finance, marketing, everything, right? So this is the difference between the language learning. Then language is actually a human convention, but the math and science are universal logic. Language learning primarily we are done through imitation. So if there's somebody who speaks the Queen's English and you want to pronounce like Queen's English, you just imitate the person, it's done. But for math and the science, it's very tough to imitate only. You need to actually think and apply, right? So this makes actually our math learning very difficult. So today I want to, all the parents and the educators we're talking about here, personally I feel the biggest mistake our children make in learning math today is they learn math in the same way they learn English and languages. They try to memorize, okay? They try to understand what the teacher teach them in terms of processes and steps. They try to just repeat the process. Okay, right now I have an interesting math question to challenge all the students today. Do you know the answer of this question? Those who know the answer of this question, raise your hand, please. Very nice. Can you shout out the answer? 5/6, right? So that's the answer. Very good. So all of you are being taught how to do this fraction addition. Okay, my next slide is basically a same math question. You just add a little bit more fraction. So can I see how many of you know the answer of the next question? Ready to raise your hand? How many of you know the answer of this question? All right. It's an interesting concept because for proper fraction addition, the concept is simple. No, this is actually a differentiation calculus integration thing. But the idea is, even though you know the 1/2 plus 1/3, the concept is clear to you, but when you scale the problem, you realize your solution doesn't work anymore. Right? So this same thing applies to life. It's like if you open a restaurant, you face some problem, you solve it, but when you scale the restaurant to 10 restaurants, you face a different set of problem, which you need to apply. So in math, it's just knowing the procedures to solve a problem is not enough, right? So you really have to understand the things behind the scene on the problem-solving skills. So when we do the first research on many Ministry of Education's math curriculum, this is from Singapore, right? They do have a very extensive way to looking at how we increase the children's problem-solving skills. And at KooBits, we are basically mapping the features into this curriculum, right? Into this pedagogy and approach. So right now, we understand the importance of learning problem-solving skills for our children. We also have the pedagogy. So what's the next problem actually we face? The next biggest problem is this. Actually, children don't listen to us. All right? Children don't listen to parents that easily. I've always tried to educate my daughter about math, but I have a toughest time to sit her down to listen to me, right? Even I personally believe I have a lot of knowledge in math that I want to pass to her. She just won't listen. Therefore, I need to find another way to really drive the children's motivation. So what many parents tend to do, we do two things. Number one, we say to our children, if you do this, I will give you that. Or if you don't do this, there will be no more of that, right? So typically, parents will only have two weapons. One is called bribe, the other one is threaten. That's usually what we do to our children, right? But it's not very effective in long term. So we have to figure out another way to do motivation stuff. All right, so today, the next part of the presentation is very interesting to both parents and children. I'm going to share with you a 3-year research that's sponsored by the Singapore government to understand the psychology of motivation to help our children. Right? Internally, we call it motivation dynamics. But in science, it's called the behavioral incentives. Right? Okay, so we talk about games. When we first started this research project, we are looking at if the parents, we just talk to our children that we are not able to motivate them that easily. So what product on the market that actually can motivate the children, right? I mean, games is a very obvious choice of our research because I never heard from a children say that I hate games, right? All the children love to play games. So we kind of go into the nitty-gritty of analyzing what makes games very interesting. But before we talk about games, we want to talk about the game types. So the question is, are children motivated by the same type of games? The answer is not really. Okay, there are some children who love this game, other children love the other kind of games. So today, I'm first of all going to classify the games. If I draw an x-axis, on this side is a game that played by one person. We call it more private, right? Game can be played by one person. If you move to the other side, the game can be played by many people, right? We have like 10,000 people play the same game. So vertically, we are coming from passive, means you don't need to think much, passive knowledge all the way up but talk about active knowledge, which require you to think. So once we have these 4 quadrants, we have 4 types of games. On the top left, we have something called a rule-based games, right? For example, a chess is a rule-based game. A chess game is played by 1 or 2 people. It can be one versus a computer, or it can be one versus your friends, right? But it requires a lot of thinking. So for the player to play the game, they have to understand the rules in order to play, right? That's why we call it rule-based games. Okay, imagine chess games. Imagine chess games. Has any of you played the chess game concurrently with 20 people at the same time? Right? No, right? Because it's very difficult to remember all of this when all the rules when you play with multiple people. But if we have a lot of rules with a lot of people, we call it principle-based games. For example, the game World of Warcraft is classified as a principle-based game. Means you can't remember the dynamic with so many players. You also cannot remember all the rules in such games. So all you can remember is some broad level principles that how to succeed in these games. Okay, what are the games that have a lot of people, but the rules are very simple? You drop the rules, right? But you maintain a lot of people. This is what we call the relationship-based games. An example is Minecraft games. Minecraft game have very simple rules. But a lot of kids love to play Minecraft game because of a lot of kids are there. Right? They can interact with other kids. What if the games are played by 1 person or 2 people, but very simple rules? Those games we call the situation-based games, meaning that the situation must constantly change. If the situation don't change, the game is quite boring. How many of you played this game before? Fruit Ninja. Right, good. Okay, this game basically is a fruit coming out. You slash the fruit, right? If it's a bomb who come out, do you slash a bomb? No, right? Good, let me ask you to imagine this. For the Fruit Ninja game, if every time this game come out with the fruits is a watermelon, every time, watermelon, will you play the game? Very likely not, right? Because the situation doesn't change at all. It's always a watermelon. It becomes very boring. Therefore, different type of games have a different type of dynamics, and we have a different type of players who are going to play different kind of games. Usually, we are not just one type of player. We are somewhere in between, right? So in school, the type of students who like to play rule-based games typically are the top students of a school, because school have a lot of rules, right? If you memorize the rules, you can beat the rules, the exam rules, everything, then you succeed. So the students who like to play principle-based games in real life are usually the school leaders, right? The student leaders in school. Not only they need to be relatively good at school homework, and they also need to be very good with relationships with a lot of people, right? They call the leaders. And the students who are very good at this type of game called relationship-based games, they are usually the very popular kids in school. They understand 1 or 2 things that make them really good, very talented, and they actually can use that to their maximum benefits. But who are the students who are situation-based players in the school, in the classroom? This is very interesting. We did a lot of survey in the school over this during our research. The students who are very extremely motivated by only the situation games are the students who like to doze off in the classroom. Because imagine something that don't move. They will just, like the watermelon keep coming out in the classroom, right? If the teacher is keep saying the same thing, they get very not easy to focus, right? So this is basically the type of games determine the type of students as well. For the situation-based games, the interesting thing is it doesn't require a lot of thinking. So we did an experiment to getting a frog to play this particular game. They call it ant squasher, right? It's very interesting that actually we try to test the cognitive load of certain games. It's actually very low. Even this kind of games, when you're playing, it doesn't trigger a lot of thinking, right? So these are the behavioral incentives that motivate different type of students. As I mentioned, nobody is extreme end of a type. Usually we are somewhere in the middle, right? We like to play this game, but yet we are okay with some type of that games, right? So what we did is that we are playing different type of psychological incentives to different type of players when they actually are exposed to these kind of games. So today, I'm going to share, altogether the research did 43 such motivation dynamics. Today, I'm going to share with you 5, okay? The 5 are quite interesting. But I want to do a disclaimer over here. If you just use these things, you can get anybody very motivated at something, but please use it very carefully. Do you know that the KooBits have a closing timeline at 10 p.m. Every night? The reason we have that is at the beginning, we open our website 24/7, but the children are so engaged, they don't sleep. So every day, my team at around 11 p.m., we receive hundreds of parents who call our office, ask us to shut down the website because the children don't want to sleep. They want to do homework. That's why subsequently we impose a rule that every 10 p.m. we close the website automatically so that we don't kind of create trouble for parents, right? So that's how powerful the motivation dynamics is. So the first one I want to introduce to you today to take away is called the 3-second rule, okay? 3-second rule means that your brain tends to doze off if nothing changes for 3 seconds. This particular psychological trick has been used a lot in the movie. I give you an example. In a lousy movie, sometimes you watch a movie, it's very lousy, right? You kind of like, I want to fall asleep. Some movies are very engaging, but you don't know why, right? So today I'm going to show you 2 movie clips. The first movie is a very boring movie. Like, I want all of you to pay attention to this one. Okay, it's a low budget, very boring movie. Did you pay attention to what happened to this movie? The camera angle didn't change for 13 seconds, right? It's the same camera angle who look at these 2 characters for 13 seconds. The next one, I want to play an engaging movie to you. It's a Hollywood production. It's very engaging. I want you to count the number of camera change, right, in that movie. The next movie is this. First camera angle. 2.
Last piece of bacon.
3.
Mine.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Yours. It's a baby
9,
throwing food again.
10. Okay, did you realize in about 14 seconds, this director changed 10 times of the camera angle? 14 divided by 10, students. 14 divided by 10, 1.4 seconds, right? So 1.4 seconds is within the 3-second rule. So when you watch this movie, your brain naturally feels effortless to follow the movie, right? In the case that if it's a first movie, you're trying to really focus attention on watching the movie. It's very difficult to watch, right? So this is how you play the 3-second rule. So 3-second rule in real life. So if we want to do a little bit more extreme, I want to make it 1-second rule. Means something that changes every second. 1, 2, 3, 4, every second. Do you know what's that? Have you think of an example that changes every second? You see that every day. It's movie trailer. Okay, if you pay attention, movie trailer, every frame it changes within a second. Why? Because they want to sell you movie tickets. So when you walk past a screen, the movie trailer are showing, you naturally will do this. Because they fasten the speed of the frame change to make sure your eyes are glued there for like 30 seconds, so they can sell a ticket, right? Generate the demand of the movie for you to really pay attention. So that's basically a lot of today's YouTubers and TikToks people also using this rule to make their micro video that really sticky, right? What is the other extreme that something that don't change for 1 whole hour in front of you. That's the university professor lecture. That's why when you go to school and you study, you realize it's very difficult to see through a professor's 1 hour lecture. Because the professor just go on and on and on, and you see there for 1 whole hour, there's nothing changed. But the really good professor, they have to sing and dance and really entertain you, right? So you make sure that things change. So at the KooBits, where do we apply these 3-second rules? If you remember, we apply in all our math videos. So our math videos, we actually have this tracker to make sure the frame changes every second. I'll give you an example of the math videos we have. So the simple concept, we have to move in order for a child to pay attention. Therefore, when the children looking at the KooBits videos, sometimes they feel effortless, right? Because we have to do these things all the time to make sure it's effortless for them, right? They don't need to pay too much attention to the concept. Even simple effects like this, we have to make it move. Okay, the next motivation dynamics I'm going to share with you is called the loss aversion. Okay, so basically it says something like this. There's an imprinting. Okay, the loss aversion works something like this. If the perceived loss is bigger than the tangible pain, okay, there's something you need to do, go through the pain, and there's a perceived loss. If that is bigger than the pain, you will take action. Okay, I'll give you an example that most of the parents here probably know. Lucky draw, right? Okay, we go to shopping and people ask us to fill a form to lucky draw. So what is the tangible pain? The tangible pain is I need to spend a few minutes filling my details and particulars, right? Then probably I need to spend the time to drop into the lucky draw box. So that's the pain. So what's the perceived loss? Is the price, right? So if the price says that it's $30,000 reward, even though it's not yours, but if you don't do the action, you perceive you are losing $30,000. Right? So it's a perceived loss versus the pain. So some of you don't do the lucky draw thing. So either the perceived loss is not big enough or the pain is too big. Okay? So how KooBits use this loss aversion to help our children to do more practice? So the perceived loss is every day they have 17 challenge points. If they don't do it today, you'll be lost forever. They will never be able to get back the 17 points you lost yesterday. So what's the tangible pain to them? They need to do 10 questions, right? So basically that's the pain, that's the loss. So sometimes we need to play around this balance so that we want to move the children to do the important things for them. Okay, the next motivation dynamics is called the shadow dynamics. So it basically says that the people, we tend to copy other people's behavior. So last time when I was actually coaching in the school, I constantly see students, they are sitting side by side. When they are doing creative writing, the interesting happen. The children will, sitting nearby each other, they will always produce the same story. Because the children will copy the other child. Right? So two of them will try to copy the behavior of each other. So how do we use that thing in the real life? In fact, actually, even for professional athletes, like for example, the marathon athletes, they also use this trick. They always have a pacemaker to help them to pace so that the real champion potential candidate don't need to think too much about the behavior. So they just follow the person until the first person drop off, then the champion will kind of run fast towards the goal, right? Gold medal. So similarly, we need to have a pacemaker for our children. So how we utilize this thing on the KooBits math, we actually put them on the leaderboard system. So a lot of people may think the leaderboard is actually competition, but the competition is not the most important effect of the leaderboard. The most important effect of the leaderboard is when your child logs into the leaderboard, you see other children, they are doing questions. So that sets a behavioral benchmark for your child. Even the number of points they get by the other child set an example for your child that your child can do this amount of points. This psychological thing itself will make the hurdle of doing homework much lower, so your child can take action, right? So that's why we are creating a lot of different leaderboards coming up. The next one is called epic meaning. This is a very interesting one. We did a huge experiment in Singapore last time on these things. It basically says that even it's the same thing you do, if we are changing the meaning behind it, it will change your motivation. For example, the same thing the children do maybe is the homework. Let's say the children do the homework, it's the same homework. But if we are putting a interesting meaning behind it, for example, in Singapore, we did this experiment. We called it boys team versus girls team. So basically, we want to see that whether the boys like doing math more or the girls who like doing math more, right? So if you want to support the boys team, you can just do the math for the boys team, vice versa. And because of these things, during the June holiday, we only launched this thing during the June holiday, because usually the children forget to do homework during the June holiday. Right now, this year in Singapore, in the June holiday, we clocked 30 million questions done by the children simply because of this particular campaign, right? It's very interesting. The children will get a lot of fun, right? If they see the girls' team are doing more questions, the boys' team want to do more questions. Yeah. So this is basically how people use epic meaning, right? To change the meaning of the same effort. So the last motivation dynamic I'll share with you today to help the children on the motivation, it's called achievement dynamics. So basically, whatever the children do, we need to give them a sense of progress, right? So at the KooBits, we already have a lot of rewards, which is currently working really well. The children will put in the effort, they will see the progress, and they'll unlock the rewards. But we don't stop just on the achievement part of it, because for KooBits, for example, we want to cultivate children to have more discipline, to have more consistency. So even those things, if the children cannot see them, they won't be motivated to do it. Therefore, we are actually launching quite some of the new features. I'm pretty excited to share that in the new academic year, in about 2 months, all the students here, you will see this particular feature. It's called a streak, right? So every time the child do a question, they will move into something called a streak. If they can unlock a one-day streak, there will be a tracker on them, say that you are on a one-day streak. And there will be a fire thing to help them, to say that your streak is burning. If they continue to do this, there will be, every day there will be a streak, right? They can accumulate the streak. So this is basically a progress to give them visibility on their own discipline, rather than just on the achievement itself, right? This one doesn't mean that the child will have done the right question or scored an A, particularly for homework. This is simply tracking the behavior of discipline, right? So once the children have that, then they'll have a streak leaderboard to see how many people can do this streak all the time throughout the year. So ultimately, all of these motivation dynamics, what we are trying to do, apart from changing the outcome of education, meaning in terms of the grades improvement, your child's real physical exam results, we also want to change the process in terms of thinking. Therefore, we are improving the children's problem-solving abilities. But most importantly, we want to change the children's self-identity, right? How they perceive themselves. So this is basically what the people at the KooBits we are trying to achieve through our products. Before the student use KooBits, they may have this kind of self-identity. I find it very boring. I'm not really good at math. I don't understand. So these are sort of like identity. These things is really harmful to children if they have this kind of negative self-association with themselves at a younger age. But what we really want the children to become is to, after they use KooBits, their self-identity change. They feel that, oh, I'm confident, math is easy, I can do this, right? So these are basically the more long-term benefits to your children. When they grow up, they will have all this positive self-identity coming into them. And that's exactly why we are doing a lot of things we do. And really thank everyone, our partners and schools and parents for the support to help our children to be on this journey. So yeah, with that, that's the end of my sharing today. Hopefully we can work together in the future to basically set up our children for success when they grow up in the future, right? So thank you so much. And I'll pass the mic back to Spencer. And once again, congratulations to all the students here, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Stanley, can you actually stay on stage? We do have some questions from the audience. I'll move over here. Now, again, if you have questions about what Mr. Stanley shared today and you want to ask away, please submit your question. There is a QR code on your little voucher or your little coupon. We can also display it over here, and you can submit your questions there. But for now, we already have some questions that we want to ask. So, the first question is, how does KooBits assess a student's weakness and strength?
I think, first of all, I think if the student's strength is very easy to see, very visible on the parent reports and the school reports, right? It's very, when we talk about math, for example. But the very interesting thing about weakness is that usually when the child fails to do something in a particular topic or skill, letting the children to do more of the same topic doesn't really help the child. There are many reasons for the child to not able to perform on a particular topic and the skill. There are a lot of nitty-gritty into that things. So therefore, we need to really create a system to support the children. For example, if your child is not good at a word problem involves fraction addition, it may not be the fraction addition problem, right? So the system have this personalization, AI adaptiveness to analyze the children's thinking based on all the data the children have done before. The system will ultimately test the child whether the child really understands the concept of fraction, whether the child have understand the concept of proper fraction versus improper fraction, or the child have a tough time understanding mixed numbers. And a lot of these things need to be done in order to really conclude what is the child's real weakness. So unfortunately, that is not something that humanly we can do that for the children because there are so many data points, right? Therefore, we really need to leverage on technology to do the piece, to have that supporting infrastructure to help the children to analyze and give the right type of questions or activity to support the child to improve, right? So in short, it's easy to actually for parents and for educators to identify the children's strength because that usually shines through, but we must be very careful to draw a conclusion of the child's weakness. Sometimes it could be a misconception. It may not be the child's weakness, right? So I think that's why we need to use a lot of tools together with the teacher's help to really help the children.
Yeah, thank you. Very great answer. Next question. How can I improve my language skills? What tips and tricks do you have? I mean, you learned Thai, but what tips can you give us if we want to improve in our languages, whatever?
Sure. I think, of course, the traditional method works. If you want to learn Chinese, if you're yourself in a Chinese-speaking environment, definitely it will work. If I learn Thai language, if I stay in Thailand every single day, of course, our language will improve, right? So that is given. But I'm right now trying to talk about what if you are not in the environment, right? You don't have an environment that everybody speak and talk about those languages. How do you improve? I think just now I share some of these tricks, right? I think the foundation is really to get the vocabulary done first. Without vocabulary, you cannot speak and people listen, you cannot really understand as well, right? But the vocabulary, the challenge is we learn some new words, we forget about other words, right? So we really need a system, it could be KooBits languages, it could be any other system you choose, but to help you to really beat this memory challenge as well. Yeah. So in a nutshell, if you're in the environment good for you, you naturally will pick up the language. If you're not in the environment, that you still need to learn a second language or third language, focus on vocabulary, and find ways to beat the forgetful curve so that you don't forget the vocab. Then the rest of your brain will probably help you a lot in connecting the dots.
Great. Next question. Now, this is about the range and the scope that KooBits covers. There are actually quite a lot of people who asked, how come KooBits is only available for primary students? And what are the plans for older students?
Right. I mean, a lot of people have been asking KooBits to develop secondary school, high school products. I personally also want to do that, but I realize there's a huge change of behavior when students grow up from 12 years old to a teenager. I think a lot of parents who have teenager kids, you probably know, when your child is primary school, is one type of thing to motivate them. When the child becomes a secondary school, is a different type of psychology, right? So we still need to do a lot of research and the development to understand the child psychology of a teenager level. I think the work is in progress. You probably will see KooBits in secondary school in the future when we have a lot more confidence that the product will work. Yeah.
Great. So there might be things in the future, right? But a lot of work has to be done there. Okay, this is a bit of a fun question. A lot of people are also asking, what is the story behind Miko? Why did you choose Miko? And what led you to making the mascot Miko?
Yeah. Actually, if you read the story math, it's basically about the story of Miko. So, long story short, Miko was originally a human in a human form. Miko was a little girl in primary school. She encountered some dark magic that evil guy turned her into a fox. So in order for her to gain back her human form and identity, she needed to set on this journey to regain all the knowledge. So throughout the journey, she actually learned about why they need to learn math. So we actually created this character and with this whole storyline to really help children to understand why they need to learn something rather than just to teach children how to do math. In fact, some of the interesting background story is that this entire Miko's story in KooBits Story Math is written by the pretty famous Hollywood scriptwriter. So we actually engaged the Hollywood scriptwriter to design the whole entire storyline for this character development, right? For example, for children, let's say as an educator, as a parent, if you ask your child, why do you need to learn fraction? A lot of children may not have the right answer. Why do we need to learn ratio? Why do we need to learn percentage? Right? We know how the fraction works, but sometimes we forget the why. But it's quite important to know why you need to learn something, because that will help you to gain another understanding of math. Right? For example, what does it mean if a fraction multiply with another fraction? What does it mean? What does it mean when a fraction divide by another fraction? Right? These are all very interesting questions. If the children start to think, they'll make them not only good in math, but they'll also make them in the future a very good thinker and problem solver. Yeah. So I leave those questions open-ended. I hope a lot of students can find the answer from the story math. If they're going to read the story and read it once and twice, I think that's basically the story behind Miko. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Now, I know some of you submitted questions and we can't cover all of them because there's a lot for the sake of time. I do wonder if there is any question from the audience that you want to ask Mr. Stanley live. Students, parents, teachers. I see a hand going. Do we have a mic for... I can run and hand them my mic. Did I see a hand going up? No? Any questions from the audience? From teachers? Schools? Any questions? No? Perfect. Well,
the students in Indonesia behaving very properly. When I'm having this question in Singapore, the question I get is, Mr. Stanley, how can I get 1 million Cocoa credits? I get all these questions all the time.
So how can they? Just kidding. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Stanley, for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
And we'll call you back a bit later, but I do have one more trivia question for these guys. Guys, this is the last trivia. So if we can get that QR code displayed again on the screen. This is the last one. I'm all out of presents, unfortunately. But the question now will be based on the session that Mr. Stanley has just delivered. So if we can get that QR, amazing. So scan this QR. Just like before. Write down your name. and be ready to answer the question. Okay, are you guys ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the question is, without a change in visual stimulus, how long does it take before our brain dozes off and gets distracted?
Hanela.
That was so fast. Can you say the name again?
Hanela.
Is that you? You want to come up? Wow, that was so fast. How did you beat everybody? I haven't even finished the question. What's your name? Hanela. Okay, what is the answer? 3 seconds. Mr. Stanley, is that right? Amazing. Here you go. This is for you. Congratulations. You can go back to your seat. Great. Well, that was the end of the trivia. And we are approaching the end of today's celebrations. But before that, I did hear that there is a special offering today. And I'm going to ask you guys, because I'm gonna say yes to this. How many of you likes discounts? Just me? Yeah? Perfect. Well, I love discounts too. So I think Miss Nat is gonna share with us some special offer that they have with KooBits. Can we please welcome Miss Nat to the stage one more time?
Thank you, Mr. Spencer. Thank you, parents. Thank you, teachers. Please let me introduce myself. Saya perkenalkan diri dulu. Nama saya Natalia Immanuel. My name is Natalia Immanuel. I'm from Synergy Education. Been here for around 6 years or so. Hari ini saya sangat bersyukur bisa berjumpa dengan Bapak Ibu. Dan dalam ulang tahun ke-10 ini ada hal yang spesial yang saya mau sampaikan. Ya, through these 10 years, kami berusaha untuk memberikan yang terbaik lewat servis, layanan, dan juga dengan relasi yang baik. Kami sungguh berharap ke depannya KooBits terus bisa memberi manfaat bagi Bapak Ibu. So we ensure you that we will still work together with you for the next 10 years and another 10 years and for a long time. Yeah. So all this time we also are very happy right now to share a good news. Ya, ada kabar baik. Pada hari ini. We have a good news for you. Like what Mr. Stanley has shared just now, KooBits just launched the new product, KooBits Language. We have KooBits English, we also have KooBits Chinese. Nah, dalam kesempatan ini, Mr. Stanley mau kasih hadiah, gitu ya. The gift for the 10th anniversary for Synergy Education and for all the teachers and students, ada special gift, yaitu KooBits Language hari ini akan launch selama 3 hari ke depan with a special price. Ya, KooBits English and KooBits Chinese. If you're, think this is a good idea to be able to get the benefit also from KooBits Language, because actually me myself, I'm very amazed with the concept behind it and how Mr. Stanley, he said he's not the language person before. But when he did all the research and everything, he wanted to share it with us. Ya, segala hal yang dia pelajari dari language. And it's very powerful. Saya percaya bahwa kekuatan dari KooBits Math akan juga dirasakan di KooBits Language. Nah, dalam kesempatan hari ini kita kasih special discount. Nanti waktu Bapak Ibu at the end of the presentation, yes, you can try to see the QR code. This is for KooBits Chinese and Language. Ya, ada juga yang maybe you have subscribed for KooBits Language already, you only want to add some more like for the KooBits Chinese, bisa juga ada linknya di luar nanti. Ya, this is a special price and only for today, only for the eyes who watch, okay? Kami ada special gift free stylus untuk 40 pendaftar pertama. Jadi kami sediakan hadiah khusus 40 pendaftar pertama, tadinya mau 10 Bapak Ibu, kan ulang tahunnya ke 10 ya. iya tapi kayaknya jangan deh gitu ya, dinaikin deh jadi 40 gitu. Nah supaya tidak kehilangan kesempatan Bapak Ibu nanti pas keluar juga boleh banget if you show that you are the first 40 people who assign for KooBits language, apapun itu ya English doang, Chinese doang, kita nggak pilih kasih ya, bundling juga sama. Jadi ntar bisa dikabarin keluar and you can get the stylus, ya, it's a very good quality stylus. And also the new Miko version sticker. Ya ada juga untuk 40 pendaftar pertama. I think that's pretty much the good news from me and I hope you can enjoy the benefit of KooBits language together with the other students in the world. Yeah, thank you so much parents and teachers. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Miss Nat. So again, while you have the chance, definitely jump on that ship to look into the newly released KooBits language. All right, now with that, we do have one more celebration, and that is to really celebrate Synergy Education's partnership with KooBits. So before we end, I would love to invite Mr. Santoso and Mr. Stanley once again to the stage. Can we give them a round of applause? For a gift exchange to symbolize the partnership, very successful partnership between Synergy Education and KooBits. And Ms. Nat will present a token of appreciation.
Thank you, Stanley, for 10 years of cooperation. So I made him caricature sketches. I have one more. Ms. Nat, can you take one more, please, for us? Lucu nggak? Lucu nggak? This is when I visit his office in Singapore. So the other one is also caricature. It's a gift for Stanley, right? This is when we were in Clarke Quay in Singapore, right, Stanley? You remember that? Okay, so Mr. Spencer.
Great, they're gonna take a photo. Great, can we give them a huge round of applause? Well, everybody, we have come to the end. Thank you so much for staying until the end. Now, there's gonna be a process of dismissal later on to avoid, too much crowd outside. So I will announce when each grade level can start getting dismissed, okay? And teachers, please do be patient. While you wait later, you can hang out with some new people, talk to the Synergy team, talk to Mr. Stanley if you have any questions about anything, how he learned Thai and what is in the future for KooBits and learners. But before that, on behalf of Synergy Education, I would like to thank every one of you for being here, for staying until the end. I want to thank KooBits and Mr. Stanley for flying out here and all the support. I want to thank Jakarta Nanyang School for being such a gracious host school. And thank you to each one of you one more time. Now, parents and students, your little coupon that you got at the beginning of today, you can exchange that for a bit of lunch and snack that we have provided. For teachers, that coupon can be exchanged for a piece of small souvenir and some lunch as well. Again, please feel free to hang out, meet new people, make new friends. And thank you again for coming. I'm wishing all of you the best weekend ahead. So for now, I would like to let students and families of grade 1 to be dismissed. So you can stand up, move around, and for the rest of you, please do wait over here because it'll be way too crowded outside.
Yeah. Thank you, grade 1. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Udah makan.
Oh yes, and then you guys can take photos if you want while you wait. Take photos with your new certificate, with that Miko medal.
Yang mau foto jangan malu-malu, bisa ke depan.